I need to make sure everything is up and about, and the menu is still up because I forgot to close it. There we go. Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay, we are up and running. Let's go. But yeah, I know which one you mean. The HP ones. I don't think I've ever had a HP one. I think the first ever laptop I had was an Asus, but I can't remember if it was a gaming laptop or not. You look different. Do I? What? Did you get contact lenses? Absolutely. The contact lenses makes all the difference. No, not really. In real life, I still have my glasses. I did try contact lenses at one point, but I hate sticking my finger in my eye. That is not pleasant. We're starting. It was indeed most bizarre incident born of a curious advertise. Oh, okay.
Pipe in hand, Sholmes looked down at the thick, rolling fog outside our window. I wonder exactly how many mysteries are out there, hidden within this bed of fog, he said.
Ooh.
Indeed, a most bizarre incident, born of a curious advertisement. A hellhound's mad gallop through the shadows of the
This is the Hounds of the Baskervilles!
Resurrection in the dead of night. And a commonplace killing in a small, forgotten room at the edge of town. There is, naturally, always another side to every case, of which most remain ignorant. And it is that other side which compels me to the scene of the crime, Wilson. So quickly now, take your hat and let's be on our way, my dear fellow.
My dear fellow!
For our adventure is not over yet. Come, the game is afoot.
I feel like we're going to get into the bottom of the Hounds of the Baskervilles. Yes, the secret Sherlock story. I mean, we all know it's not secret. It's one of the most popular Sherlock Holmes stories. But in this game, it's secret. You're going to start saving for a proper PC this year. Nice. Are you going to have it made? Did you say that you're going to find somebody like your uncle to get it made? I do hope it'll go well. Do you not do webcam anymore? No, I don't do webcam anymore. I started to get self-conscious with using webcam. I mean, technically, I'm still using webcam because it tracks my movement for the VTuber. But no, I'm not putting my face on the stream anymore. I started to get self-conscious, started to get uncomfortable, and I'm started to not like it anymore. And also, I've been inspired by other like VTuber streamers to do it. So I've had this done, and I've been a VTuber since just after New Year's. Wow, I've been a VTuber for 2 months already. Yeah, I get that. I find it hard to even go out nowadays. Yeah, me too. I don't like going outside much. I mainly go outside just for shopping, essentially, and meeting with friends. But I'm trying to focus more on my my health, my hair, and things like that. Grey streaks on my hair is becoming more prominent. So yeah, I was starting to feel self-conscious. 8 days after that earth-shattering trial and Casimir regaining his memory, we were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Great Waterloo Hotel. That is a top-notch hotel. Jesus Christ, it's a top-notch hotel. Hey, 1st of November. That's my uncle's birthday. 1st of November, 10:24 a.m. Great Waterloo Hotel foyer. Professor Mikotoba is due to arrive at any moment. Oh, he's coming! He's coming to Japan! That's about it. Yeah, same. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. As long as it's not like an unhealthy session. You do go out. Oh no, I tell a lie. I do go out every day for a walk. I think going out for a walk is very important. But yeah, don't worry. I get what you mean. Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time. Sasato-san hasn't been the same since what happened. Seeing Kazuma. Not that I'm surprised. The truth about Kazuma-sama's father. Oh yes, so it turns out that oh god, it's a bit of a story. So along with the last case, they were looking into the case 10 years ago involving a serial killer that got executed. And there was a wax model of him, and it turns out that that was the father of Kazuma. Do you suppose my father knew that he was actually the mass murderer? The professor, you mean? I knew that's what she was thinking about. Yes. There's a good chance, I'd say. I mean, they did come here to London together 16 years ago, didn't they? Yes, that's true. Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Mikotoba knew about Kazuma going missing in Hong Kong as well? Did he? Did he? Yeah, I like to go on bike rides, but I'll be by myself and not let people see me. That's fair enough. I like to go by myself, mainly so that I can listen to music while I go out walking, and so my mind can drift off. Thank you so much for the luck, Joe. I do very much appreciate it. I do hope that you're having a lovely day. That's right, but for some reason he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it. That probably means he knows then. He knows about Kazuma showing up here in London with amnesia and that he's regained his memory now. This should be interesting. I wonder if we're going to work with Kazuma in this. Ah, there she is. Hi? Oh, Father! Oh, it is him! I haven't noticed with the outfit change. Hello, Sasato. How are you? Who's he? Oh, it's the judge! It's the judge from Japan! I'm very well, thank you. We're delighted you've arrived safe and sound. He's very handsome in his suit. Both of them are. Hello, Mr. Naruhodo. Very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here. Oh no, not at all. It's my pleasure. We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news has crossed the seas. I wonder if Ryunosuke knows. It has? I always look forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with the steamships from Britain. Oh, I see. Well, thank you very much. Who is this man and why do I feel as though I've seen him before? He's the judge! I take it from your expression that you can't quite place me. In that case, how about a little reminder, Seishiro? A firm tap should do it. Yes. A firm tap? What? Here we go then. I hereby pronounce the defendant Ryunosuke Naruhodo guilty. Oh, you got it there, Ryunosuke. There we go. Got there in the end. We're talking about the very, very first case here. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Shit. Hello, lovely. Welcome. I am doing good. How are you doing? How was your weekend? Let me give you a shout out. Hope you're ready. We got a new case. You played the Tales of Symphonia Remastered. I have heard there has been a remaster.
Nice. Oh my god, you just revived me.
Your Excellency. Oh, I love his smile. He's such a handsome man. I'm great. My weekend was super relaxing. That's so good to hear. You definitely deserve it. My weekend has not been relaxing. I went back home to see my family and then to someone's party with loud music and a club and some drinking. Yes, and I'm so happy to hear Tales of Symphonia is one of my all-time favorites. Ah, so cool. I never had the pleasure of playing it, but I have heard really, really good things about it. I hope you get to relax sometime this week. Oh yeah, streaming for me is relaxing, and I have been relaxing while watching Nigella Lawson, who has this who is a chef show, cooking show, and she's a chef who has that relaxing tone. Hello, Judge. I'm never gonna get that name right. Hello, Judge Jigoku. How are you? It's been a long time. Ha 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 ha! Oh, he seems so happy. Good, you remember now. That really did the trick. Guilty. Oh, he has a blast. We do love cooking shows. Sometimes I'm not a fan of ASMR, but I do love hearing people cooking, like the sizzling of the pan, the chopping, the sapping of the ingredients and things. I don't know, sapping of the ingredients, but I love that sort of thing. Yeah, I do love Nigella Lawson. I recommend her. Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there was no laughing at the time. So, London again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. 10 years! To be honest, I never thought I'd be back. Neither did I. I didn't imagine Japan would ever be invited to an international symposium like this. Though really, I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It's all thanks to you, isn't it, Seishiro? What are you talking about, Yujin? Of course, Judge Jigoku. He must complete the set. He's the other man who 16 years ago came to London with Kazuma's father and Professor Mikotoba. All of them are like friends. He's the third visiting scholar. Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say, I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you? I knew you were jealous. He seems like a really fun-loving guy. I'm gonna enjoy Jigoku's presence. He's happy, he's smiley, he's joking around. Sorry, ministerial status. Yes, didn't you know? Seishiro here is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. It was his personal insistence that allowed you to take Kazuma's place here on this study tour. Oh, hello, thank you for watch Streak 3 privately with you and Mars. Thank you so much. Can I ask what that is? Is that new? Is it like hosting? Guilty as charged! Oh, well, thank you very much. He's really every bit as important as he looks. It's new, and I'm still trying to figure out what it's for. Yeah, I don't know what it's for either. I have been seeing it, but either way, thank you. Thank you so much. I shall look into it. Yes, now, Naruhodo. I received a telegram from Lord Strongheart yesterday. Oh, you did? Oh, it's tracking how many streams I am here for in a row, which is cute though. That is super cute. I do like that. That is very, very cute. It appears that some things that came to light in a trial you were involved with 8 years ago. Sorry, 8 days ago, not 8 years ago, 8 days ago. Ah, that is a really cute. I think it only tells you like watch streak 3 privately with you in Mars. Ah, that is super cute. About what happened 10 years ago, that tragedy. Ooh. Yes, could you tell us any more about it? Oh, we're conversing with both of them? I don't think we need to examine the hotel. The hotel is pretty spick and span. Your journey from Japan. So how was the voyage here? Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anyone's standards. But it wasn't as bad as when we first came 16 years ago. No, that's true. Then I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time we followed the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience. Ah, so you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris? Paris? We did, yes, though only for one night. Ah, that's fair enough. And yesterday evening, we left the port of Dunkirk for Dover. Just in time for the symposium, in fact. It starts tomorrow. It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father. It's thanks to Seishiro here. 16 years ago, he managed to ingratiate himself with Britain's Attorney General. I'm sure that's why he was invited, and I suppose you could say I'm something of an appendage by default. Speak for yourself, Eugene. You were close friends with the professor of forensic science at a major hospital. The coroner! I've forgotten her name. Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge all that up, really. The mummy who turned out to be a murderer. No, there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back. Oh, a completely different person. Okay. Kazuma's father, I suppose. Oh, the professor was actually a professor in forensic science 10 years ago. Interesting. Kazuma's father. The professor, the killer who took the lives of 5 members of the British aristocracy, was actually Kazuma's father, wasn't he? That's correct. Genshin Asogi. Genshin Asogi. Not Genshin Impact, Genshin Asogi. Genshin. You knew, I presume, Father? Yes, he was a close friend at the time. Ooh! Spill the tea! Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard. I've never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous acts. It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth, and he was executed with little ado. To this day, very few people know what really happened, even in our homeland. But what about Kazuma? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father? That would break him. No, of course not. He was told his father passed from sickness. I get the feeling that Kazuma was studying about his father in the behind the scenes. However, I suspect he may have had his doubts. I presume the story wasn't straight. Oh, why? As you know, I tried to guide Kazuma growing up, as if he were my own son. Then one day, he came to my office at the university and said, I've decided. I want to travel to Great Britain and study there. But not to study law, to study what happened to his father, I presume. Do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death? Yes, exactly. I don't know. But when I looked into his eyes, I did know that there was no way I'd be able to stop him. Something else came to light in that trial the other day, actually. Oh? What? Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Kazuma's since turned up here in London working as the apprentice of Lord Van Zeeks. What? Oh, this is the first he's heard of this. So this is news. What? That's news to us? Well, that's what I just said. So, okay, based on their shocked expression, they knew nothing about that. Well, fuck. Best go grab your tea, guys, because this is going to be one hell of a roller coaster. We're going to be spilling all sorts of tea here. Lord Strongheart's telegram neglected to mention that part then. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, Strongheart is starting to get, you know, a bit fishy. Do you think he's starting to look a little sus? As you know, we both thought Kazuma had died on the steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January. That happened in the second case. But he didn't die. He's alive. As you knew, didn't you, Father? In actual fact, no. What I did know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished. We sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try to ascertain what had happened, but to no avail. But he's still alive? And here in London, you say? I know it's a shock to us, sir. It's a shock to us. I never dared even to dream it. Why on earth did the young man not make contact? True, particularly if you have so much search parties going on in Hong Kong. The government and the police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now. Well, it seems that he was suffering from amnesia. What? Amnesia? When we first came across him again here in London, he didn't know who either of us were. I see. He only regained his memory 8 days ago. This is unbelievable. It's too much. I agree, guys. It's too much. Yes, it's quite miraculous. I wonder why Lord Strongheart didn't let us know. It's a mystery. I must speak with him urgently. I wonder how Kazuma's been these past few days. Would it be wrong of us to go and visit him? Your time in Britain. Tell us how long you're here for, lovelies. That began 16 years ago now. It's a distant memory, really. Oh, we're talking about 16 years ago. Okay. It was Eugene here. Eugene here. That's Sasato's father, Genshin Asogi, Kazuma's father, and myself, you. We were the original three. The golden trio. The Harry, the Ron, and the Hermione. I don't know, I can't think of any other trios. The Ed, and Eddie. There we go. The original three. The first judicial scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study. Ocean voyages were not what they are today, I can tell you. 16 years ago, things were tough for their generation. Your father was an exceptionally fine medical student at Yume University at the time, you know, young lady. Yes, grandmother told me. He went to do research at a great London hospital to study autopsy. Practically unheard of in Japan. Imagine. Yes, it was an eerie place, sandwiched between the back of a prison and a burial ground. Jesus! What a terrible place to work in! Ugh, no more talk of graves. Yeah, we've seen enough of graves, even fake ones. Thank you very much. Very often there's no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy work. So you see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons. Not my cup of tea at all. Do you remember that Scottish prison governor? Caden, his name was. He was a good man. Yes, but then of course, in our 6th year here, everything changed with that dreadful case. When Genshin was arrested for a series of the most gruesome murders of the gruesome. No one actually said how he killed them, that's the thing. I simply couldn't believe it. I'd known the man for years. I was a witness at the secret hearing and I tried to speak in his defense, but you went a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you? Oh, he's a bit mad. Why? What did you do? Well, suffice to say that after that trial, we were sent back to Japan. There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly. God, that's terrible. Well, if you'll excuse us now. Yes, I'd like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible. Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have held you up here for so long. I'll call for the porter then. Just wait here. Susato-san's gone off at a run. I'd like to stay and talk more, but I do have various preparations to make for tomorrow. Yes, of course. It must be a big responsibility representing our entire country. I wish you the best of luck. Naruhodo. I hope you'll keep an eye on Susato for me. Keep looking after her as you obviously have been. Mikitoba! Of course! Oh, no, I mean, if anyone's looking after anyone, it's her looking after me. Well, I do appreciate you being there for her. After all, I've been a miserable father to her. I've thoroughly let her down. Sorry? What do you mean? Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study tour here in Britain, as you know. The very year Susato was born. Yes, I heard. The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but... well, sadly it was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life, too. Susato-san hinted at something like that. Or was it about losing Susato's mom? It was a rather turbulent time at home. Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. No, please do. I wasn't bored at all. This is interesting. The point is, I became rather less dependable than befits a grown man. And it was then that Seishiro offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain. I was too worried about you to leave you behind. So perhaps I was a little heavy-handed when it came to persuading you to accompany me to London. So that's what happened in a nutshell. And that's also the reason why I now feel compelled to give my daughter as many possible opportunities as I dare. Like letting her be the lawyer back in Japan. Very nice. Though the world does not readily afford young women such things, I must say. I completely understand, Professor. Ah, one other thing, Naruhodo. If I may be so bold, I have a favour to ask you. Far away, Mikotoba. What is it, lovely? Oh, really? Of course. What can I do for you? Well, the thing is, I'm so sorry that took so long. Have you met him? Mr. Sato. Now then, allow us to take your bags. Allow me to take your bags! One moment, if you please, porter. Of course, sir! You're drinking. You're drinking on the job! I see that. I see the flask. Maybe don't drink it on the job in front of the judge? I mean, he's not a judge in Great Britain. He's a judge in Japan, but I think it still follows suit. That machine around your neck. It's a camera, I believe. Yeah, we have met him before, but I can't remember where. I feel like it's so long ago. Quite right, sir. Just 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir. Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expense. Ah, yes, of course. Why aren't you smiling here, Judge? I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Mr. Naruhodo. It really made Father very happy, I think. Oh, well, I'm pleased then, but we were interrupted before. Professor Mikotoba was about to ask me something. Yeah, he says he wanted a favor from you, but we don't know what. Shall we return to Baker Street then? I expect Iris will have some delicious tea waiting for us. We do love delicious tea here. Some delicious tea from the true queen of tea making herself. Yes, let's go. Let's go. I'm getting more and more anxious about Kazuma, though. I wonder if we're going to see him again. Probably in Lord Van Zeek's office. Perhaps I'll try to meet with Lord Strongheart later and ask after him. Are we going to... I want to go to Sholmes' suite. See if Sholmes is there. Or Holmes. Or whatever his name is. 1st of November. Holmes' suite. I don't know how you pronounce the E with the accent. I'll tell you. UAE. I sound like I'm yodeling. What was that? A man screaming? In the most unflattering way. Do you think? Could it have been Mr. Holmes? Oh my, I do hope not. What is happening? Who are you guys? How do you scream like that? I don't do it anymore. Mon ami. Stop this disgraceful display, huh? Who are these people? I don't know. Look at their hair. It's bright red. I want bright red hair. I think they must be clients of Mr. Holmes. It's Gina! Right, you two? You're coming with me now? Down to the clink. No, I'm not in prison. It is dark and damp and I don't like it. I presume this person's Italian. Bother the darkness, it is my friend. I am not scared. But you are always scared of the dark. Shut your mouth, you idiot. I will sit quietly in the dark and plan our next daring heist. I don't like this. I don't like it. Well, tough. We'll finish this down the yard. Now get moving. Jeez. What am I watching here? Bye then, Ginny. Have fun. Oh yeah, thanks, Iris. And thanks. You're a great detective. Where is Holmes? Gina makes a fine detective herself, doesn't she? Oh, Susie and Bruno! Hello, Iris. We're home. Well, did you find your daddy? Don't say daddy! Why? Yes, we arrived at the hotel just before he and his friend. Hello, Sharky. Hello, lovely. How are you doing today? well, that's great news. I hope I'll get to see my daddy again soon. Yes, of course. Dr. John H. Wilson. Oh, fuck. Yeah, he died. Missed you. Oh, lovely. Missed you too. How have you been? How is your weekend so far? So, Iris, all that remains now is the greatest of problems known to man. Dear God! I wasn't expecting a red-haired Sherlock Holmes. But before we concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea is in order, don't you, my dear fellows? How are you? I am doing good. I am doing good and very well. During my weekend, I went to go visit my parents and then see some friends for their birthday. It's really good. It's really good. It's Monday though. I know it's Monday. How was your weekend? Did I not say that properly? I was asking how was your weekend, lovely. It was good. Oh, that's good. That is good to hear. I hope you relaxed a lot during the weekend. I definitely did not relax. There's something wrong, Mr. Noah Hodder. Do I have a crumb or such like on my face? Not so much on your face as on your head, I'd say. I can imagine there was no hair dye back in Victorian times. So I'm just curious. If they want to change their hair color, how would they change their hair color back in Victorian times, if they could? Probably with some food. I don't know. Tomatoes? I don't know. What are we doing? Well, we just saw... So Sasato's father and the judge from Japan has come over to Great Britain. And we told them the news about Kazuma. And they told us about the professor that got executed... that got executed 10 years ago or 16 years ago. And so we had a bit of chat with them. And now we're off to see Sherlock Holmes, who dyed his hair. I don't know why. As on your head, I say. Probably wash it out. Yeah, probably. There. It's probably with some chemical that is like really, really harmful. I don't know. Come along then, everyone. I've brewed a lovely special blend. Time for tea. Whatever is going on here today? In that case, let us sit and drink now, for I am in fact expecting a guest later today. Ooh, who are you expecting? We shall converse with you. Your two visitors, who were they? Mr. Holmes, who were the two gentlemen that were here before? Oh, just a pair of petty criminals, nothing of significance. Of course, they have to make a living somehow. And when the mood takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all manner of infections. When the mood takes you? All manner of infractions? But when such fellows set their sights on Mr. Sherlock Holmes, well, that's when their luck runs out. Oh my, you were the target of a crime, Mr. Holmes? But I quickly devised a plan to entrap them and deliver them to our young detective ally, Dina! You should have asked Gregson to come too. We could have had an arresting tea party. I don't want Gregson. I did send word, but no answer was forthcoming. The man is consummately in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. Aha! I have it! A bungler! That's the word. Do you mean a burglar? Imagine he's expecting the judge? Who? Sherlock Holmes? Oh, the Japanese judge. Yes, that's what I was thinking. And Sasato's father. It's a good job he's not here to hear you say that. So those redheads have been up to no good? I wonder what the men did. Probably trying to rob someone? The greatest problem. What was the lie he told? I'm so confused. What lie did he tell? Oh, about Kazuma. I don't like Gregson. He's annoying. I really dislike him. I hate his hat. I hate his mustache. I hate his attitude against us. And I hate his newspaper wrapped fish and chips they always have. Love you too. What was that about? The greatest of problems known to man that you mentioned before? Is it another fiendishly intricate case, Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes? Ooh. How should I best explain it? Is it the Hounds of the Baskervilles? Hounds of the Baskervilles? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection, perchance? Yes, we have. So I presume Charles Darwin was around Victorian times, and he was out just saying his theory of evolution by natural selection, but he did get shat on by people who is heavily on religion. But this is when science is starting to evolve themselves to become more aware. What do you mean he's always against us? I thought he was on our side. I am very, very confused. Who are we talking about? Gregson. I mean, he's always on our side, but he doesn't like it. I'm very confused. No, he's not always against us. He just doesn't like us. He is on our side. He just doesn't like us. He doesn't like Sherlock Holmes either, but he has to be on our side because it's his job. He's like Gumshoe, kind of, in the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. He doesn't like us, but he still has to do his job and still getting, you know, evidence and things like that. Well, I think I've heard talk of it somewhere, possibly. It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was newly proposed 40 years ago now. Oh, wait. Oh, that was still being Victorian times 40 years ago. Is that early? I thought this was around the time. Oh, oops, I did not mean to click that. According to its author, Mr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops. I don't think that was correct. Wait, what? We were apes? No, I don't think that was correct. Indeed, and from the very moment those apes descended from their canopy to live as humans, it has been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man. Our lot? What is this great problem, Mr. Holmes? Why, is it not obvious, my dear madame? The problem of rent. Yeah, well, you've always had that problem, Holmes. In the beginning, Gumshoe doesn't like us. Later on, he becomes more friendly. Yeah, I noticed that with Gumshoe. And with Edgeworth as well. They have become definitely on our side and became more friendly. But Gregson, I feel like he's not getting friendly. He can choke on his fish and chips for all I care. He does not like us, and I don't like him. Taxes is worse than rent. Definitely back in Victorian times, they had window taxes at one point, which is stupid. But did you not receive a rather large sum of money from Madame Tusbells only the other day? And don't forget, a lot of people live in poverty back in Victorian times. So paying for rent become very difficult. I think it's in Britain as well. It was mentioned in this game. Hang on, I'll have a check. Window taxes. UK. Yeah, this happened in the UK. Imposed in England in 1696. The tax, a kind of predecessor of the modern property tax, was levied on dwellings with a tax liability based on the number of windows. The tax led to efforts to reduce tax bills through such measures as the boarding up of windows and the construction of houses with very few windows. This has been mentioned in the game, where some of the flats are being bought. Windows have been blocked with bricks to avoid paying for window taxes. But why? I don't know. I don't know. Just to get more money, I presume. No sunlight in the houses for people. Sure, a large sum? One potted herb for Iris and a new motor car for me later, and all of it has quite disappeared, I assure you. Honestly, Hurley, you know you squandered it. Yes, well, anyway, 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to man's greatest problem, for the coming month at least. Oh, what was the answer? Why, there was a substantial clue before your very eyes. Is it the hair? Don't tell me. Let me see. Humans are sorry creatures, unable to see what is in front of their noses. I mean, that's true. Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe me very closely. There is one particular feature about my person that has changed. You should notice it in the end, I think. No, we've noticed. We've noticed, indeed. In the end. It's been stabbing me in both eyes right from the very beginning of our conversation. Oh, you also dyed your eyebrows! I think we might need another clue before we uncover the full answer, Mr. Naruhodo. Really? Really? Thanks for the hint. I'll be tearing my hair out if this charade goes on much longer. How long did window taxes last? UK. I mean, so I can't remember when window taxes started. It started in 1696. It was definitely not a few months because the tax was repealed in 1851. That was just under 200 years. So no, that was not a few months. No, those were definitely eyebrows. That was definitely an eyebrow I saw. Thanks for the hint. Oh, I already read that. Yep, that is a eyebrow. You can instantly tell. The lie you told. Stupidity and greed. It was mostly greed. Mr. Holmes, isn't it about time you told us the truth? Just over a week ago, you said to us, I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. What do you say to that? That case aboard the SS Buria in January. Kazuma wasn't killed, and you knew he wasn't dead at the time. Was it the government? Yeah, it must have been the government, but I don't think it was just the government. 1696. Who ruled? Who ruled in 1696? I don't know if it was William III. I don't know anything about William III. Yeah. Anyone was greedy. Because you just are going to end up repeatedly playing it. That's why. Kazuma wasn't killed and you knew he wasn't dead at the time. So what was really going on? The fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have been in mortal peril. Of course, a side effect of the prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you now know. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew. But how? After they'd carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area. Then I made them swear to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship in Hong Kong as a murdered corpse. So this is all Holmes is doing. Oh, she's pissed. Oh, how horrible. She is not a happy bunny. It was necessary to find some material with which to persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course. But why? Why do it in the first place? I will be at liberty to elaborate in due course. But for the time being, I would like to reassure you. I didn't foresee subsequent events. I mean, yeah, he's not a... What events? His disappearance in Hong Kong. Oh, I mean, he's not a mind reader. I don't think he's evil. I believe I may have made a gross error of judgment. I don't think he's evil. He's... I don't know what he is. Are we close to the next part of the trial? We barely just started. No, we've only just started. Because we've only just been talking to Mikotoba and the judge from Japan, not judge here, and we've only just started talking to Sherlock Holmes, so we've barely scratched the surface, but we're getting some tea here, Mr. Holmes. Mr. Holmes, Mr. Holmes. Would we be able to talk to Iris? Huh. The answer is no, we're not talking to Iris apparently. We have nothing to present. So we're going to move to... That's where the best music is. I think the best music is when you're talking to Sherlock Holmes. And the final deductions. Those are the best musics for me. Hang on, I'll be right back. I am back. Into the loop. Prefer the testimony music. Oh, the cross-examine music. That's a really good one. I also really like the music where you cross-examine the jurors. Yeah, the jurors. I think that's really good. It's Lord Van Zeeks! 1st of November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. Here's the final draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. I supplemented your original with the figures you asked for from the yard. I see. Excellent work. Thank you. You're welcome, my lord. You're welcome, my lord. What's Lord Van Zeeks doing here? I mean, he's the prosecutor. He's allowed to see Lord Strongheart as well. My, there seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air, wouldn't you say? A little bit, yeah. This place is stifling enough as it is. We really don't need any more tension. Hi. My apologies. I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress make you all but invisible to me. Oh, no, it's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure. From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come here. I don't know if they're joking or taking this far too seriously. Now then, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. I'm right here. Kill me now. Yeah. Who's gonna speak? Anyone? Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you. Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room at such a perfect temperature. Okay, if you're sure. The beads of sweat carving their way down your face seems to suggest otherwise. Nah, not hot. Because of the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly. As you're no doubt aware, my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madame. Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited. I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands, then, Lord Van Zeeks. I will attend at once. He gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he? Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little chilly. I know, but I haven't done anything. Have I? Is it a cold stare? It's unreadable in Lord Van Zeek's case. He always has that face. These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That would be the coroner. Is your left hand still of service? That was beautiful. There is a lewd joke in there somewhere, but the fact that it was said so innocently, that was funny. Listen, hold on, he's talking about Dr. Scythe. Dr. Scythe! That was her name. I've forgotten her name. Ah, of course. I'm terribly sorry about that. I was just, no, it was funny. It was hilarious. It's his fault for not finding it funny. Fear not, you've done nothing wrong. Dr. Scythe's own wrongdoing precipitated the situation. You needn't concern yourself with it any further. That would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me. I feel like he hates us now. He definitely hates us. Lord Van Zeeks is doing an admirable job of holding the fort. Though disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday. You got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. This guy is the chief prosecutor? He's the chief overall, I believe. Yeah, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's not just a chief prosecutor, he's the chief overall. He's the top gun of this operation. Yeah, Van Zieks is staying as prosecutor as far as I'm aware. He hasn't been fired or anything. Missing? What's become of Kazuma-sama now? Just doing strange things, Kazuma-sama. I suppose I should talk to you. The Forensic Science Symposium. Not long ago, visitor numbers to the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million. 30 million? Jesus! Are there even that many people in the world? As a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, the population of the imperial capital Tokyo is 2 million. Jesus! I will be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition's main auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making. 2 years of preparations and negotiations with other countries. It sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations. The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques, and cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential, which is why this landmark first symposium had to be hosted here at the heart of our great British Empire, in order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World. He's the same as ever, I see. That passion of his is quite something. You're every bit as passionate in your own way, I'm sure, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. So the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions. Jesus. I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Scythe at the helm, it was steadily accruing an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department. And can you not do that now? Obviously, nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep this story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. Great. So it can't evolve. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I say. Unintended repercussions of our trial. That's not Ryunosuke's fault. You said so yourself. It was Dr. Scythe's fault. We simply couldn't have overlooked what had happened, though. Wait, doesn't Dr. Scythe have a daughter with the mask, with the plague doctor mask on? Her? Could we talk to her? Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way. Where's Kazuma? About Lord Van Zieks' apprentice. Ah, yes, that came as a surprise to me, I must say, that you and he are old friends. How did he become an apprentice to Lord Van Zieks in the first place? It came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel. Oh my! So he stowed away to get here! He had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia, too. Other than the fact he was clearly the Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Van Zieks. That way I could keep an eye on him. But then, why the mask? I didn't want to burden Lord Van Zieks with tiresome explanations about why he had an Eastern apprentice. Because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask? He's proven to be a great help to Lord Van Zieks. I have high hopes for his future. By the way, do you know where he's gone? No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being. Oh, so he left the city? Oh. I take it you also didn't know that the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, I mean. The professor, the murderer? Yeah, we knew. Genshin Asogi. Kazuma's father's crimes. Are we going to hear the full-on detail about this? The nitty-gritty details about what he has done? What we learned from that trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was... Ah yes, Genshin Asogi. The professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain. They were such awful murders and unprecedented, using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon. It was a dog? Was that being explained? And no one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government. So the true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then and can't be made public now. Nobody in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London. Jesus. The main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time, I understand. Correct. However, it has to be noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause. What? Supporters of a mass murderer? Jesus. Supporting criminals is becoming a thing lately, ever since true crimes, I've noticed. There are girls that has a crush on Ted Bundy. He killed so many women. It's weird, it's disturbing. The majority of the man's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. Also, a fair few thinkers in London believed anyway. Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it? Yes. Was it? It seems very similar, doesn't it? To the idea of the Reaper of the Bailey. Is there anyone to talk to? No. We've done that one. Oh, we haven't been here. 1st of November, Naruhodo's legal consultancy. Let's converse with her. What to do? It's good news that Professor Mikotoba arrived safely, isn't it? Yes, it's wonderful, and the fact that Father has been invited to this important international event really makes me very proud to be his daughter. Your father, Judge Jigoku, us, and Kazuma, of course. There's an ever-increasing number of Japanese here in Britain's capital, isn't there? Well, yes, I suppose so. But London does have a population of 6 million people, so I think we're still a minority. Sato-san's father, who came here as a visiting student 16 years ago, and Kazuma. It's almost as if some great power has been at work, drawing them here across the ocean to London. And I feel as though the waters are starting to swell again now. Is there anyone to talk to? I don't think so. Oh, is this... Oh, Suzako's place is so cute. Then where do I go? Do I go back to Holmes's suite? Wait, there's a newspaper. This was like last week's edition. What's that article circled in red ink there? It's in an advertisement column. It says, "To the Red-Headed League." The Red-Headed League? What's that? I don't know. I've never heard of it before, but... There's something on my face. Clearly, this has something to do with that. Lively hair. An advertisement from the newspaper that's entitled "To the Red-Headed League." It seems somewhat suspicious in nature. Still want to know how he dyed his hair. There's also a mask as well. The mask Kazuma wore when he was assigned to Lord Van Zeeks as his apprentice. When he cast it aside from the trial the other day, I just sort of picked it up. I ought to give it back to him, I suppose. But he has his memory back now, doesn't he? And I can't help feeling he might turn around and tell me coldly to wear it myself. But isn't he your best friend? Yeah. I can't think of what else to do. Do I still converse with him? Oh, I present this to him. It looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Holmes. To the Red-Headed League? Does that strike you in some way? I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair. So, at last you've learned to apply my methods, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? In the first instance, and quite indispensable observation. Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut. It's very bright. So then allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits. Regale or boast? What? So what is the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you circled? You noticed it in the paper then? That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's rent payment. Okay. It was? How? According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecified governance. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair. That doesn't entirely surprise me. But listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. An unconditional salary of £4 a week. Back then, £4 a week is cute. That's a lot of money. Oh my, £4 a week? But why? What are they paying people for? That I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement. Then how was it accepted to go through onto the newspaper? But surely every red-headed person in the country would be flocking to join in that case. You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put in my application at once. You're not redhead. So will I. Just on the off chance. That might be stretching a point, I think. The trouble is, they have a fixed number of members, you see. Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can. But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away. it wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I feel, Mr. Holmes. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Luckily, this person passed away. Not for the person that died. God, Mr. Holmes, so you decided to try to join in this place? Correct. I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen such a red-headed fellow? The two guys that just left? No. So why did it have to go so wrong? What on earth happened? A blunder, Mr. Naruhodo, though it pains me to admit. Your blunder? What's the blunder? What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Holmes? Yes, I'm curious myself. I'm glad you asked, Mr. Sato. What you see atop my head is neither dyed nor a hairpiece. What is it then? I changed the color of my hair overnight. By the wonders of chemistry. Ah, I should have known. Chemistry. I was conducting some research into a method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves. Tea leaves. And in the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that when taken, turns one's hair a flame-like red. Would you like to try it? It will make every hair on your body perfectly crimson. I think I'll pass. Though I would like to try. I want my hair to be red. But Mr. Holmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it? Amateurs are always hampered by such fears. You probably didn't drink it, you probably shampooed it. Oh, I should never have doubted you, Mr. Holmes. You mean to say? But of course! To earn £4 per week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger. That degree of red signals more than just a little danger, surely. So anyway, Hurley left full of confidence yesterday with his new red hair. For the park on Lime Street, where the Red-Headed League were interviewing prospective new members. So what went wrong? The whole park was choked with red-headed folk like a Costa's orange barrow. I queued for 8 hours solid before at last I reached the front, but when the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, "Ah, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation?" Lol. Lol. So naturally, I had no choice but to reply. Shh, don't give me away. After which, I could do little else but turn and leave. Then this morning, when I looked in the mirror, irritation stirred within me because they recognized you, so I turned that pair into the police. Or because they knew it was you? Oh dear, what a disaster. For Hurley and those two redheads. Ding-a-ling-ling! Aha! Here is my guest now, my latest client with money to spend. Let's go! Oh, I do hope it's an exciting case, Hurley. Remember, Iris, we are at present gripped by the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept any case, no matter how unstimulating, save locating a runaway, of course. Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you? Oh dear, I'm afraid that a Hurley can lack a little tact, especially just before the rent is due. Thwack! Oh my god! I hit the finger on the desk. Ow! Right on the nail. Though it's not broken, it's just, it hurts. But oh my god, it's juror number 2 from the last case. We love you. Sherlock Holmes, please, oh please. Please find my husband. He's run away. Oh shit. Yes, of course we'll help you. To upset me? I beg your pardon? Never mind, a personal matter. My apologies. Poor me, I hurt my finger, but I got super excited to see her. I don't know why. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. Naruhodo? I didn't say a word. Come, my dear madame, be seated. Iris, some tea, if you please. Of course. Susato is quiet. What's the matter, Miss Susato? Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. I feel sure I've seen her somewhere before. Very recently. She's the second juror! She's juror number 2. I've forgotten her name. She was the fangirl. She was the one who helped us realize that there might have been something between the magician and Dr. Scythe. Her! Yes, now you come to mention it. But she's so pretty. As Evie! Oh, what a lovely name! As I explained earlier, my name is Evie Vigil. Is it Vigil? Vigil? Not Vigil. It sounds like vagina. I'm gonna go with Vigil. I implore you to take the case, sir. Money is no object. Simply name your figure. Money and wealth are of little consequence to me, madame. Being offered a case to solve is reward enough. Ah. Oh, Mr. Holmes, you are the picture of benevolence. I will, of course, make a mental note of your offer, however, for contingent reasons. I trust you will remember your words also. If I might inquire, sir. This gentleman and lady would be... Oh, me? What I am about to tell you, I should like to communicate in the strictest confidence, you understand? Ah, these are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me. Ah, I see. I can vouch for the gentleman personally. After all, he's hard of hearing. Thanks. Why did I ever get my hopes up? I would love to converse with her. Mrs. Vigil, hello, lovely! So lovely to see you again. Forgive me for asking, Mrs. Vigil, but have we met somewhere before? Quite recently, perhaps? Oh, my. Pshaw, my dear fellow, what is your intention? Clearly you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of the English. If you wish to invite the lady to tea, you must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion. Is it possible that you're the nice young lawyer from the trial I attended last week? Oh, I knew I recognized her. Oh, there she is! To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand, oh gosh, oh golly, it sends shivers down my spine. I didn't quite recognize her because she's acting so differently now. How? I feel like she's acting... It must be very difficult for you as a lawyer. Being hard of hearing, I mean. Oh yes, I can't hear a damn thing. Pardon? Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Don't worry if you can't hear. It was frippery, really, nothing more. Now look what you've started, Mr. Holmes. Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks, Holmes. I believe it will be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner. Yes. Tell us about your husband, madame. Mr. Vigil, my daily is 40 years of age. I have a photograph here. An entirely unremarkable gentleman, by appearance at least. How long have you been married? It'll be 15 years this year. How old were you when you married the guy? You don't look like you've been married for 15 years. We have a cordial relationship and my husband's income is more than adequate, so we live quite comfortably. As it would appear, I need only look at you to know these things. Oh, gosh. She's lovely. Your dress is the latest style. Your hat clearly regularly groomed and your eyes are animated. In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct? That's right. He's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty, and he rather dotes on me. Who wouldn't? Which would point to the possibility that he has become embroiled in some incident or other. Oh, that is exactly what I fear must have happened, Mr. Holmes. I'm quite beside myself. My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see. What if he's incurred some miscreant's ill will? What does he do exactly, lovely? What exactly is your husband's line of work? He's a warder at the prison. He's a what? Oh, I don't have it. I don't have the photograph. He don't look like a warder. A guard? That is somewhat unusual. A prison warder. Interesting. So your husband is a prison warder? That's right, yes. Well, in actual fact, he's the chief warder. Oh, then he would get a lot of money then. Indeed. I see. Well, Chief Prison Warden certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation. Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see that they're carried out. I presume you're talking about the death penalties. Dreadful punishments? Does she mean capital punishments? And at such times, he must occasionally spend a night or two in the prison dormitory. That must be rough. But for that extra responsibility, he is remunerated more handsomely than the other warders. Of course, we make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbours. Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged? Berkeley Prison, Mr. Holmes. Really? Berkeley? Oh, a fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there is a large cemetery just behind it. That does not make it fine. Yes, that's correct. Lowgate Cemetery. Wait, Berkeley Cemetery. That was the same place that Kazuma's father got executed. Interesting. Yes, that's correct. Lowgate Cemetery. No. Lowgate Cemetery? The very place we were discussing in court? That's unbelievable. Unbelievable, my dear fellow. And yet undeniable. Sorry, Mr. Holmes. I'm afraid you've lost me. Ah, pay no heed, madame. Pay no heed. A private matter. This can't really be a coincidence, can it? I feel like it can. Holy shit! Your husband's disappearance. So, to the matter of your husband's disappearance. When did you realize he was missing? Please try not to laugh. It was yesterday. I'm sorry? Yesterday? That really is recent. Laughably so. The truth is, my husband does at times have occasion to spend the night away for his work. It's not at all out of the ordinary for him not to return home at night, but this is different. Women's instincts. I get you, Evie. I get you. You can't really explain it, but you feel like something is not right. Listen, we're here for you, Evie. For him not to make any contact for a whole day, that has certainly never happened before. Oh, my dear Daly, whatever can have happened? Oh, bless her heart. At least she doesn't think, you know, very awful about him. And nowadays, when people's partners do not like contact them the whole day, they immediately think that they're cheating on them. It is no. And also, there's no mobiles or phones. No, there was phones, just it's a little bit out of the ordinary. For people to make contact, so it's mostly been letters, so it'd be very hard to get any sort of anything from anyone, particularly if they're very far away. But if it's like Bailey, like super close by, she can easily get some letters, I presume, or a phone call. My dear Mrs. Vigil, please calm yourself. Now then, have you contacted the police? Why, naturally, but sadly, they refuse to listen to my pleas as my husband has only been missing for 1 day. So, when it comes to a missing person, you normally have to wait for 24 hours. Or is it 48 hours? I'm not entirely sure. For it to be for a person to officially be missing and for them to take it seriously. 1 day, that's just 12 hours. I was asked to wait patiently at home. In truth, Mrs. Vigil, I concur with the police. However, let us not be hasty. I see no reason why we should not engage on my deductive powers to track your husband down anyway. Like, what's the worst that could happen? He will be at his job and he's like, what's all this? And that he's fine and dandy working and that he was probably busy. But the other worst situation is he could have died. Oh, thank you, Mr. Holmes. And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the greatest problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. I seek only to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That's really all there is to it. Particularly someone as pretty as you, Evie. You have my eternal gratitude. I shall pay any sum you care to mention. You seek only to put this sweet's rent in your landlady's purse. That's all there is to it. I feel like Sherlock has heard that. Thank you for everything you have shared with us, Mrs. Vigil. I believe I have all the information I need to begin my investigation. Oh, please report to me as soon with good news, sir. Fear not, madame. In a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a heartening report, I'm quite sure. So soon? Oh, how splendid, Mr. Holmes. Good news should be delivered early, I always say. No, wait a second. When it comes to people who are working in the law enforcement or anything that involves, a person's lives, you can't make any promises like that. Surely, you can't. How do you know it would be good news? We might see him dead. If you would be so kind as to leave the photograph of your husband in my possession. Photographic print received from Mrs. Vigil in order to aid with locating her missing husband. He appears to have no particularly distinctive facial features. Now we can look at the... Thank you. Now, allow me to show you the door. Let's have a look. Would you look at this man and think that he is the chief warden? I wouldn't. I would think that he was work as like an accountant or something. I don't know. He don't look like a warden. Quite a lovely looking fellow. I can't thank you enough, Mr. Holmes. You've been simply marvelous. He better be a really great guy to get a beautiful woman like this. I just noticed her boobs. This is gone. Big Wow! Hello, lovely! Welcome to the stream! How are you doing today? Welcome, welcome. And how was your weekend? You know, I think it every time, Hurley. But how do you come out with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two? Are you sure? I can't be sure, of course. And I promised her the good news. But then I didn't swear on it. But you did say you brought her hopes up. I'm good, you? I am doing very well, thank you. I had quite a busy weekend, so I'm feeling really tired. So I'm just relaxing with... Actually, I finished my tea with water. Sure. I merely gave the good woman some hope. I hope to be able to give her good news, one might say. Yeah, but is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I'm all for giving people hope, but you also have to be realistic about the possibilities. After all, the rent must be paid by the end of day tomorrow. If by that time I've successfully located Mr. Vickle, we shall be mutually relieved. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Don't look at me with those pleading eyes. They do look a little pleading. Well, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case? I did. Yes, my hearing is surprisingly good, actually. Excellent! What did you make of it? Well, I was surprised to learn where her husband worked. At Berkeley Prison, I mean. Same. I mean, I was surprised that he's a prison warden. He don't look it, but, you know, you shouldn't judge a person based on their looks. He just seemed thin. He just looked like an accountant. I don't know. Oh, so you noted that? Of course, especially with the mention of Lowgate Cemetery. So that was where the murderer from 16 years ago is buried, and Berkeley Prison is where he was executed. So obviously they were making that sort of connection and felt like that it wasn't just a coincidence. Something is happening. Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Berkeley Prison, so it was renowned among us students at the university for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts. Berkeley Prison is where that notorious man was incarcerated. The Professor. That was the pseudonym of the killer, by the way. Why he was called the Professor, I don't know. But his real name is Genshin Asogi, the father of Kazuma Asogi. And now a warder from the prison has mysteriously disappeared, it would seem. It's all very peculiar. Indeed. But nothing you can't handle, I'm quite certain, Mr. Naruhodo. We're going to that cemetery, aren't we? Sorry? Run along to the prison and see what you can glean, would you? You're not going to come with us? To the haunted prison and cemetery? It's the present governor you want. No doubt the man is equally worried. But aren't you going to go yourself? Surely you need a task. I can't possibly be seen out with this hair. People are still going to notice it's you. You're the one who decided to dye it. Sorry, not dye it. Chemically change the color with tea. But didn't you go to Lime Street with that hair? That was a quite different matter. So I'll leave it in your capable hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm rather busy. Hope you'll be able to wash it off. Bye. Of course you are. He's so busy. Absolutely busy. A new location. Let's go. I don't think we've been to Berkeley's prison. Berkeley Prison is on the outskirts of London, backing onto a lonely burial ground. Lovely. Lovely. Its four high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office in the watchtower. Oh, this is quite spick and span, isn't it? The clock! Look at the clock! I want that clock. That is a nice clock. It's got a guillotine going up and down and up and down. Up and down. Imagine chopping onions with that. That'd be so good. You could chop vegetables in that. It would end up being so useful. And that bird is a bit big for that cage. The poor thing. How is it going to turn its head? 1st of November, Barclay Prison, Governor's Office. I want that clock. Hello? This place is full of hardened criminals. I can never remember the last time a civilian was doon here. Oh, he's Scottish. I can't do Scottish accent. And you didn't want to talk to an inmate, but to me. Hi. Do you ken who I am? I'm the governor. Barry Caden. Oh, yes, it's a pleasure. I'm Unusuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. And an Easterner I see. I can't do Scottish accents, I'm so sorry. I will try my best though. Does that mean? Yes, I'm a visiting student of law from the Empire of Japan. Japan? Did you say Japan? Yes. Well, there's not any of your kind in here, laddie. Maybe you should try the prison next door, eh? I didn't notice another prison next door, sir. Anyway, we came to ask you some questions about... I didn't like to be so direct, but... I've no intention of speaking with the likes of you, suspicious-looking Easterners. Oh, God. Now get out of my hair. As soon as he finds out that we're from Japan, he reacts like this. That surely means... I think it's because of the professor case. You think so too? 10 years ago, Genshin Isugi, also known as the Professor, was incarcerated at this prison. But then, after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery behind the prison. I might have known! You're sniffing around about that case, aren't ya? I presume those are handcuffs. Your agents, eh? Part of the Professor's great web, no doubt. No, not at all. We just get on with ya before I punch your lights out. We're going. Clearly the ghost of that killer still haunts this place. We're not going to get anywhere here, unless we can somehow prove to this man that there's nothing suspicious about us. Governor Caden? What are you thinking, Mr. Sato? I feel sure that name came up in conversation recently somewhere. I was wondering if whoever mentioned him might have some ideas to help us. Lord Strongheart! Lord Strongheart mentioned him. Come to think of it, I have the same feeling. So are we moving to find Lord Strongheart? Is that Lord Strongheart? No? Maybe it's Sherlock? Oh, I can't. There's no one here. Okay. Ah, it was Mikatoba who mentioned it. Okay. So we're gonna need to talk to him. That's Professor Mikatoba over there. Ah, hello you two. I was just taking a moment to catch up on the world, and now that I'm unpacked. But where's Judge Jigoku? Where is he? The handsome man. I want to know. Yes, he's not the relaxing sort. He's taken himself off to pay his respects to all the legal bigwigs. Having only just arrived in the country today? Goodness, he is full of energy. Professor, you mentioned something before about how you'd known the prison governor at Berkeley Prison. It's him. Okay. Oh, Governor Caden, you mean? So it is the same man. Father, we must speak with the governor. But he refused to talk to us. He said we were suspicious Easterners. Well, I'm sure if I accompanied you, it would be a very different story. Oh, would you? That would be wonderful, if you have time now. Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment. Oh, good! Busy drinking coffee on a comfortable settee. Now, I have rather a lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know. He did say that. He did say he's got to prepare for tomorrow. Oh, sorry, I didn't say that out loud, did I? No, it's just people know what you're thinking. Ryunosuke must have that face that he pulls when he's thinking, so people instantly knows what he's thinking. You Mikotobas are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts. Or could it be that you Naruhodos are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts? That... Let's not fall out now. I have an idea. Ah, he's gonna say, listen, I'm Mikotoba and you shall talk to these peeps. What's he writing on that piece of paper? Here's a letter of introduction to you. Hopefully when he sees my name, he'll change his tune. Ah, thank you. A note of introduction on our behalf from Professor Mikotoba to Governor Caden. Hopefully now he'll be willing to talk to us. Good luck then. What did he write? I'm curious. What did he write? Professor Mikotoba has wonderful handwriting, doesn't he? This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. Is it just me, or does that make me sound extremely trustworthy? I do wish he'd at least called you a nice young man. I'm really not sure that would help. That wouldn't help at all. Let's move! Let's go! If you just cast your eyes over this, Governor Caden. What's this then? You cannot pull the wool over my eyes, you good-for-nothing Japanese student. Mikotoba? That young jock from the forensics laboratory? That Mikotoba? Yes, exactly, him. Oh dear, perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Eugene Mikotoba's daughter, Susato. Jesus, you're the young man's daughter? I didn't think to mention that before. I do apologize. Aye, well, you best take a seat then. Can I offer you a cup of tea, perhaps? Oh, we're getting somewhere. You know you're in your good books when someone's offering you a cup of tea. And don't forget to try one of these wee handcuff biscuits. Oh, that does sound really nice. You're gonna have a biscuit with a cup of tea. You dip it, and you have it. Your father's influence is nothing short of amazing. I'm bitterly regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now. So then, what can I do for your hen? Well, we're currently investigating a case. It's one of your warders, you see. He's gone missing. Missing? That's right. It's surely been reported to you as well, being the prison governor. I have near heard nothing of the sort. There's no missing persons in my prison. Oh, so she was just worried. But how can that be? It's Mr. Daly Vigil, your chief warder. Eh? Vigil? That's right. His wife came to us and asked us to investigate his disappearance. Let's skip the part about him only going missing yesterday for now. Oh, clearly that means something to him. Would you be so kind as to tell us what you know, sir? Aye, of course. Are we talking to him? We're going to talk to him first, and then we'll take a break. Because this is getting very interesting indeed. We understand that Mr. Vigil is the chief warder here at the prison. Aye, that he was. Strong sense of responsibility and dedicated to the job, no doubt about it. He was a fine warder. Sorry, did you say was? Aye, he does no work here no more. He left the job. Wait, what? He left the job. He left. Does his wife know? Well, no, she didn't. She does not know. What has happened? Oh, my. When was this exactly? There's a question. When was it about? It can have been much less than 10 years ago now. What? 10 years ago? The same time when the professor was executed? This is not a coincidence, and his wife does not know. What? 10 years ago? He stopped working here 10 years ago? What? Aye, as I mind it. Do you ken? I haven't heard the fella's name in all that time. That's a worry if he's gone missing now. But Mrs. Vigil made no mention of it. I think perhaps, Mr. Naruhodo, that his wife simply doesn't know. I think she's unaware that he no longer works here. Governor Caden, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Vigil give up his job here? I wonder why. Maybe it's something to do with the execution of the professor. That's important, is it? Yes! Yes! Yes, I believe it may be. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? I can't help wondering, given that it was 10 years ago. Which was exactly when the professor was being held at this prison. We gotta get to the bottom of this. So Mr. Vigil actually resigned from the position of chief warder 10 years ago, you're telling us? What happened to make him leave the job? Tell us! Tell us! In actual fact, he didn't leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter. You mean he was dismissed? It was after a particular walk. Sorry? A walk? Aye, that's a word for it in here. A walk to the gallows. And an execution. An execution to the professor. Oh, God. This is all coming together. It's a job of the chief warder to prepare the gallows tree and oversee any executions, you see. What? He was, meaning he was hanged. Only Vigil did something unthinkable on that last walk he was manning. What did he do? What did he do? I'm sorry, but I cannot reveal that information. But I can tell you that it's very rare for a chief warder to be relieved of his post. Then he must have done something horrible, particularly if his job was to man the prisoners and have them prepared for their execution. Jesus! But why wouldn't Mrs. Vigil know about it? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here. I wouldn't have known anything about that, I'm afraid. Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstances of his dismissal? And what would that be, Hen? that last execution that Mr. Vigil was responsible for overseeing, was it by any chance the professor's? My thoughts exactly. Our thoughts exactly. Yes, Sasato. You have no fear of asking that. I'm sorry. I really am. But I'm not at liberty to answer that. I see. There was a lot. He gave us nothing, but he gave us everything at the same time. Something has happened. My father came to Britain all those years ago in order to study forensics medicine. But you seem to have been well acquainted. The dead room, the prison, and the cemetery have a lot to do with one another. After all, they need fresh corpses for forensic research. Do you ken? Yes, I can imagine. The advancement of medical science isn't always particularly palatable. Your father worked in a laboratory just on the far side of the graveyard, in the basement of St. Sinners. It's still in use today. Was that the same basement as where Dr. Scythe worked in? St. Sinners, that's come up before, I'm sure. Yes, that's right, we've been there. Mikotobo and I have used to ride in a carriage together and negotiate terms. For more fresh material, I suppose. Aye, and we used to sit in here for hours and gab on about dissection and all sorts. Oh, it takes me back. Over a pot of tea and a plate of cough biscuits, of course. Of course, of course. How charming. He was a good fella, your father. Reliable and dead set on his work. But I'm afraid I'll never understand you Japanese. Because of Genshin Asogi, I suppose. Well, I can't tell you anything else. Thank you so much for your time, Governor. Oh, one moment before you're away, Hen. I'm sure I have it here somewhere. Ah, found it. Here, take this as a wee souvenir of your visit to the prison. Oh, what is it? That's Vigil's dismissal notice. It's 10 years old now, of course. This super helpful. Thank you, sir. Oh my, are you sure? Aye, it's no trouble at all. It's no the original, mind. The harsh reprimand incurred by Mr. Vigil 10 years ago that resulted in him losing his job as chief warder of Berkeley Prison. Thank you very much, Governor Caden. I want to see. Chief Warder Daily Vigil is relieved of his post with immediate effect for having violated Clause 132 of Her Majesty's Code of Conduct for Prisons. All rights to redundancy pay and other financial benefits are fully revoked. Aiding and abetting the escape from this prison of convict just prior to his execution. Details of this escape are still being investigated. Full cooperation with inquiries will be expected. Prison Governor Barry Caden. They censored the name of the professor. They do, to keep it confidential with everyone. Additional notes. Indications are that the jailbreak plot was conceived prior to the convict's incarceration. It is believed that the convict engaged in some form of negotiation with prison staff in order to secure assistance. Full disclosure of information regarding these negotiations will be demanded. Fuck! Wow. Well, in return, do me a favor and never come back here. That case is closed. Well, I think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being. Yes, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Holmes with what we've found about Mr. Vigil. What will he tell Mrs. Vigil, I wonder? I feel terrible about the wife. I really do. I hope she'll be okay. Right, I'm going to take a break for a second. Going to get some tea and a bit of a snack. I suggest you guys do the same. Go get some food, go get a drink, go to the loo, stretch your legs and things like that. And yeah, I shall see you guys in a little bit. I am back. I hope you had a lovely break. The game should come up pretty soon. We are going back to Holmes's suite. Ah. Welcome back, Hollow. I hope you had a lovely break. I got my tea. I've had a bowl of crisps and watched like a bit of Nigella Lawson to chill a little bit. So I hope you guys had a lovely break as well. We got the information to give to Mr. Holmes. Let's go. 1st of November, Holmes's suite. We're back. Hello, you two. Oh, hello, you two. I thought you'd be back before long, so I baked some scones for us all. Oh, you can't go wrong with scones. Ah, so that's what the delicious smell is. Jesus Christ! Greetings, my dear fellows. What is going on? You've returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating. Holmes, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love coloured hair, but on Holmes... hello, Mr. Holmes. Hello, Mr. Holmes. Yes, you saw. Say nothing! Your thoughts are written all over your faces in any case. It turns out that it may have been advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before application. No shit! Oh my. Pray, tell me, what of our water friend? Have you garnered some new information? Oh, do we ever? Oh, yes. Something very surprising, in fact. Though it's not a patch on your hair, to be honest. It most certainly isn't, but still, we discovered that... Holmes! Gina! Drop everything, Holmes! This is more important. Gina? I can't Adam and Eve it. What does that mean? Gina! No, don't cry. What's happened? What's happened? Clearly a very grave matter indeed. For Miss Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever. It's the boss. What do you mean? Inspector Gregson, what happened? The boss is... He's dead? Inspector Gregson's dead? What? They just found his body shot with a pistol. Wait, what? Oh shit. I said earlier that he could choke on his fish and chips for all I care and said I didn't like him. Oh no. Oh no. I didn't want him to be shot. No. But Inspector Gregson? He was murdered? Gregson was murdered? No, not Gregsy. Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story. No, I didn't want him to die. Oh, the dear warden would have to wait. Jesus! Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Gregson was really shot. I don't know much about what happened myself yet. They're still there, investigating the scene. Where did this take place? Don't say it. A little rented room in a building full of flats on Fresno Street. the outskirts of town, nowhere near his home. He was perhaps investigating a case then. What case? The thing is, no one at the yard knows nothing about no case around there. How strange. This is strange. The boss was... He was so good to me. I know I ain't up to much yet, but one day I was gonna show him. I'd become a proper detective. Oh, Ginny, this is so... No, I didn't... Okay, I didn't want Gregson to die. Who is the culprit? So who did this? Do you have any idea who the culprit is? They got him already. Already? Oh no, it wasn't the warden. Why do I get the feeling it's the warden? They've caught the shooter so soon? A witness reported something was going on and the boys got straight down there and took care of him. Who? What other person did this? No. It was Vigor, wasn't it? I still can't believe it myself. Gina? It was the Reaper. Wait a minute, the Reaper? You don't mean they've arrested Lord Van Steeks for it? That's right, that Reaper bloke's gone and shot the boss. Lord Van Steeks has got arrested? No, this is a lot to take in, okay? No, Lord Van... Shit! Are you quite sure, Mr. Strahd? It's Barak Von Zeeks the police have arrested? I saw him with my own eyes in the interview room at the yard. I don't believe it. Are we going to defend Lord Van Zeeks? But there were witnesses, and they're all saying it was him. We're going to have to defend Lord Van Zeeks, and Kazuma is going to be the prosecutor that we're going to go against. I can feel it. So you mean there were actually multiple witnesses? They heard the gunshot, apparently. And when our lot got to the scene, there was only the boss and that Reaper bloke in the room. But there's no way Lord Van Zeeks would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it myself. I don't believe it either. Something's got to be done. Thank you for informing us, Mr. Strahd. This really is most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry. What are you saying sorry for? You didn't do nothing. Oh, poor Gina. I want to give her a hug. Well, anyway, I'm taking a cab over to the scene right now. Please come and all as soon as you can. You gotta help. Oh no, I feel really bad for Gina. I feel bad for... it's a lot. It's a detective's lot to appear wherever some sinister plot has unfolded. Little wonder we all look haggard. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves. Mr. Holmes... What use is there in being a great detective if I fail to see something like this coming, How could I let this happen to Gregson? To Gregson. Mr. Naruhodo, I shall leave at once to begin my investigations. Of course, yes, we will too. It would be helpful if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you were intending to do so anyway. Yes, sir, we were. Until later then. Let's go! Something happened. Inspector Gregson dead. And Lord Van Zeeks arrested. Oh my god. Bruno, Susie, I've called you a hansom. It's waiting outside. Thanks, Cyrus. Shall we, Mr. Sato? Yes. Let's go. Oh my god. This is nuts! Okay, where is it? Lord Van Seeks is our defendant, everyone. Oh, God. First of November. Local prison cell 1. Look, there he is. Oh, my God. There he is. Lord Van Seeks behind bars. This is so weird. So it's true. He really was arrested. He's sitting with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he's noticed us. Lord Van Zeeks! Fancy meeting you here. The last place on Earth I'd like to be, with the last person on Earth I'd like to see. Thanks, Lord Van Zeeks. I couldn't very well not come. We heard what happened. That Inspector Gregson was... Go home. This has nothing to do with you. But... Forgive me, Lord Van Zeeks, but I must disagree. Inspector Gregson was very helpful to us on a number of occasions. We're indebted to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find out the truth about his death. You must help us with our investigations, please. There's really nothing I can tell you. What were you just reading at the back of the cell there? Was it something related to the case? This? The yard isn't quite so cavalier with its information as to share case details with the suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance. Oh, who might that be? Someone you know, as it happens. Albert Harebrain. Albert Harebrain! Of course, yes. I keep forgetting they went to the same university. And I would like to read my correspondence in peace. So let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know? Anything and everything. Strange. We're here to defend you. And you're going to fucking like it, Lord Van Zeeks. I mean, let's face it. Lord Van Zeeks never minces his words. But they seem to have less bite than usual somehow. I mean, he's in prison. He can't really do anything. What happened? Can you at least tell us your side of the story, Lord Van Zeeks? What happened? How much do you already know? We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small rented room on Fresno Street, and that you were found there by the police when they arrived on the scene and immediately arrested. We were told that there was nobody else in the room and that some witnesses heard the gunshot. Then you're well informed, and there's really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself. But the gunshot! Obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you? I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. I also heard the noise. However, before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers. So he doesn't actually know what happened. And they just arrested him? They just arrested him when he was going there to investigate? That's weird. Why? Did they find something? I feel like someone is holding a grudge against Lord Van Zeeks. I feel like they keep doing things under his name. Or under the Reaper. And he gets framed for it. If I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with? I don't need to answer that. Oh. After all, you're not representing me. Oh, I will be. He is going to need a lawyer, though. Your defense. Who is going to be representing you in court, Lord Van Zeeks? anyone other than you, I should imagine. Oh no, it's gonna be me. I can feel it in my Lord's strong heart. I'm sure he would tell me that I would have to defend you. Would I be right in assuming that you have no representation as yet? No one would want to defend the Reaper. Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know. I didn't need to know, I kind of gathered. But this is different. In my career, of all the defendants I've prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now. Holy not! I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of the barge pole. But you didn't actually have anything to do with those people's deaths, did you? Then why keep it so silent, Van Zeeks? It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bailey. 10 years again! 10 years ago, when the killer Genshin Asugi got executed. Everything has happened 10 years ago. The killer got executed. His friends had to go back to Japan. Somebody lost their job because of that execution, and his brother got murdered, and now the Reaper of the Bailey. What are the chances of all of this happening in a span of a few days 10 years ago? Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I have the chance to uncover the truth about that. What does he mean by that? What does Hepburn say? I hope he's well. After the trial, Professor Hepburn was supposed to go straight back to Germany, I thought. I mean, he can still send letters from Germany. It's a letter to inform me of his safe arrival at home. I arranged his passage by sea and rail. It's a relief, I must say. He should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper. Because the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean? It sounds like it, yeah. So the Japanese person that we defended, Natsume, he got accused of murder twice. And he's very well aware of the Reaper situation of defendants getting killed if they stayed in England. This has happened to Mr. McGilded, but he moved to Japan right after the second trial, and he was perfectly fine. He was happy. So, and obviously the same is Hairbane. So, whatever this Reaper is, it's not Lord Van Zeeks, I don't think. Whoever this Reaper is does not follow anyone aboard and is sniffing around any defendants in London. So, yes, so it seems. Your stooped little Nipponese friend, for example. Oh, we've just been discussing him. He told me he was keeping well in Japan when I acquired the other day. Yes, that's right. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo. So Professor Hairbane is safely back in Germany now. He is. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. So, it appears our conversation has run dry. There was a 2-second silence. That's all. Well, in any event, if you'll excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you. I was wondering, Lord Van Zeeks, if you'd like... I'll be happy to advocate for you. Please say yes. You trust me, do you? Yes. I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people. So I'm quite sure that you would never have taken another's life. No, I don't believe that. He has harsh words. He has no problem speaking his mind. That's for sure. But I do genuinely think he's an honest man, honestly. It's just my feelings can't be used as evidence in a court of law, sadly. It's a very gracious offer. However, I trust no one. I mean, that's fair. What? Not the police, not the judiciary, and not you nipponese. Well, I'm trying to be nice here. But please. I have no intention of engaging your services. Well, we're going to go to Lord Strongheart. He's going to say yes, and you're going to have to deal with it. So... the chasm between us is just too wide and too deep, it seems. Oh, I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again. Then neither of us will waste any more time. Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper and find out more about Lord Van Zeeks and what happened to Inspector Gregson. Does that mean going over to the Fresno Street room? Is that the last one? That's the last one. Oh, there's a woman. 1st of November, room on Fresno Street. This really is an out-of-the-way part of London. Oh my god, look at the dump! I doubt many people find their way down this back street. So this dust-ridden rented old room is where it happened then. So this is where poor Inspector Gregson lost his life? Yes, and the police are already hard at work investigating, it seems. I don't see Mr. Holmes anywhere, though. Perhaps his investigations have taken him elsewhere. Oi! What do you think you're doing there? Every one of them drawers has got to be taken right out so you can look underneath it all. I want the space above this ceiling checked, and don't forget to look inside the chimney stack, too. Blimey, ain't you lot never going over an house looking for dough when the owners are out of town? Gina's obviously got some unique investigative techniques she wants everyone to adopt. Oh, so you've turned up at last. Mind you, I ain't been here long myself. Hello again, Gina. Holmes has only just left. You're lucky you missed that. He went prancing around in here, pointing at stuff and flicking that out of his, and then just scarpered. Oh, he's finished investigating already, you mean? Yeah, he didn't stop to say nothing to no one, not even me. Gina, would you mind if we investigated too? Please? Listen, Odo. You're a lawyer, right? Yes, why? Well, you're not thinking of trying to help that Reaper bloke, are you? Oh. Oh. What do we say? Poor Gina, she's never going to forget, is she? That trial will haunt her forever. Gina, if you don't mind me saying, if Lord Van Zeeks really is responsible for this crime, he will be duly and fairly judged in court. I suppose you're right. And if he isn't the murderer, then we will find the real murderer who's responsible for shooting Inspector Gregson, and they would get judged harshly. How about that? Go on then, Odo, get investigating. I want to know the truth about what really happened here. Thank you, Gina. Yes, Gina. Are we going to converse with her first? Let's converse with her. Gina, what was Inspector Gregson doing here in the first place? That's what I want to know.
It's what? Half a year since I got out of the clink? That's when I decided to give up my diving and become a detective instead.
Oh yes, Mr. Holmes twisted the inspector's arm to agree to take you on as an apprentice, didn't he?
Something like that, I think. Anyway, the point is, I didn't really know much about the boss till then. But it turns out he's a bit of a legend at the yard.
Goodness, really? Is he?
They say he managed to solve some really tricky cases just like that.
He did?
Yup. And ever since then, he started going out on all sorts of investigations, but always on his own. No one else at the yard even knows what half the cases he's working on are, apparently.
That's not how it's supposed to work, is it? So what was the legendary inspector doing in a dingy little room like this? Ooh, we don't know.
I know he had a lot of respect for the Reaper and all. And look where that landed him.
Respect for the Reaper? In what way?
I heard him say as much. I take my hat off to that fella, were his words.
Not how the general public feels, is it? Most people are terrified of the Reaper.
Yeah, the boss said that's exactly why he respected the bloke.
I didn't realise Gregson held the Reaper in quite such high regard.
He said something else to me and all. That I didn't need to worry about the Reaper, because he only goes after people what are bad. It did kind of set my mind at ease when he said that.
Right. But Gregson's not bad. What is this place then? Does anyone live here?
Apparently it's been raided by some cove called Hugh Boone.
Hugh Boone? Hugh Boone? It's a sort of here today, gone tomorrow name, that, isn't it?
Yeah, he's what we call an unidentified person. We haven't been able to get in touch with him.
I see. Well, judging from appearances, I'd have to say this place hasn't been lived in for a long time, if ever. Hi, Calico! Hello, lovely! Welcome to the stream! How have you been?
We are investigating here.
We have started on case 4 in the second game, so case 8 essentially, and we're investigating a very unexpected death. There's a lot to take in. How have you been? Was there no stream on Friday? No, I didn't stream on Friday because I was getting ready to be away for the weekend. So I've been with my family for the weekend, as well as gone to a friend's birthday party.
Why? All the lads from the yard piled down to get stuck into the investigation. But there's so little here, no one knew what to do with themselves.
I do wonder. Yes, Mr. Sato? Where have you been, Calico? How was your weekend? I hope it was relaxing. Well, could it be that this Hugh Boone is in fact Inspector Gregson himself? What? How could that be? Ooh, interesting theory. Tim Hortons. I haven't been to Tim Hortons yet. Was it good? I heard it's so nice. Well, if he was investigating on his own, it's quite possible that this was in fact some kind of secret office of his. But they found his body. I never even considered that.
Nice work, Sue. So we're actually following a line of inquiry like that ourselves.
It's so good. I've only had it twice. I really want to go. Maybe next time when I go out to the town. You are?
If you look around the room, you'll see there's a few things that hint at it.
We should really investigate this place in detail. The incident. Maple syrup burgers are a nice thing, surprisingly. Ooh, that's a strange combination. I hope they serve that in the Tim Hortons here. Ooh,
I see that's where the poor inspector was found over there. Yeah, that's why. They said it was a single bullet what did him in. So how far are you into this case? So we're still investigating. We're about 3 hours in. So we've only just started today. We've been talking to a lot of people. Somebody wanted Sherlock Holmes's help with finding her husband. And we found some information about the husband, and that could be connected to the case 10 years ago. And now Inspector Gregson, I don't know if you've seen him, has been shot and dead, which was a shock. It was a shock, like goddamn. So we've investigated a lot. We've investigated a lot. It was, and at the moment, we're currently investigating the area where Inspector Gregson got shot. Shot to death? Yeah, a single bullet apparently. Apparently, the bullets went right through him and struck that candle tray on the wall. Oh yes, it's blown one of the candles apart completely. Oh yeah, it's that one. And the gun used is there on the floor. It's the Reaper's, isn't it? No denying that. What? Really? How do you know that? Take it easy. I don't know what to do with myself when you stare at me with them big wide eyes. I'm only saying what I've heard. I don't know much about guns myself, but there's some bigwig lawman or whatever who said so. Why don't you ask him? A bigwig lawman, is it? Who is it? Anyway, Fresno Street runs along under that window there. There were some street sellers just outside who heard the gunshot. Oh, but I don't recall seeing anybody outside. Yeah, they've all been taken down the yard for questioning, that's why. We're talking about the yard's legendary inspector here, after all. They'll be getting a grilling. Do you think we might be able to speak with those street sellers ourselves? I bet it's the Red-Headed League. I doubt it. The lads of the yard will just want to know what you're snooping for and you'll be up for grilling and all. So we can't interview the witnesses then. Shame. Shame. Alrighty then. Let's go. Let's examine this area. First off, this notice board. This is like some sort of notice board or something. And it's absolutely covered in scraps of paper. Ah, Mr. Naruto, look! This, you mean? It's an autopsy report, isn't it? And these are case notes here, and details of prison inmates. Yes, in fact, they're all the sort of documents that only a detective could normally require. What on earth went on in this room? Some old newspaper cuttings. And this one here! Oh yes, the advertisement you mean. To the Red-Headed League! But why? What's that doing here? Whoever occupied this room was clearly interested in it for some reason. There's a photo of a woman. Oh, it's a photograph stand. I suppose it must be a picture of one of Inspector Gregson's family members. Who is it? What's the matter? Your eyes look like they're about to pop out of your head. They are, look! Mr. Naruto, quickly! It's juror number 2! Why do I feel like this woman is familiar somehow? How could you forget her? Of course she's familiar. We met her only this morning. It's Evie! Mrs. Viggle! This makes no sense. Why would there be a picture of Mrs. Viggle in here? To be frank, I wonder if her husband was Mr. Henry Boone. To be frank, I don't think I've ever been more stumped. I'm sorry to say, I have no idea either. A photographic print of a smiling Mrs. Vigil in her younger years. It was found on the desk at the scene of the crime. Ooh! I was going to say, what was highlighting? An empty fireplace makes a room feel even colder than it would be otherwise, doesn't it? It's thick with dust. Look, I think it would be fair to say it hasn't been used in a very long time. In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely hardy in cold weather, or nobody lived here at all and merely visited when the occasion arose. I think the chief warden is very hardy in the cold. You know why? Because I can imagine prison cells be extremely cold. I wouldn't like to say which is more likely. No, that's right. It's one or the other. Excuse me. Oh, Inspector. Oh, sir. Poor man. He can't possibly be able to focus on investigating when he's so upset. Okay. Oh, wait. So this is the gun. This is presumably the murder weapon then. Oh my, it is real, I suppose. I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan. I really know very little about them. There's one way to know for sure, Mr. Naruhodo. Fire a shot! No. If I did that, I'd be looking for a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. Slightly safer just to ask someone who might know, I think. Yeah. Best to be safe than sorry. The murder weapon that was found at the scene of the crime on Fresno Street. Probably best to avoid handling it. Maybe we could talk to the policeman? Excuse me. Sorry, sir. Can't see a thing, sir. Too many tears, sir. Poor policeman. Right, perhaps I'd better leave you to your work then. Oh, what's this? It would appear to be a little model policeman. It's rather charming, isn't it, in a way? Seeing as it's on the floor here, do you think it belonged to Inspector Gregson? It's a little hard to imagine Lord Van Zeek's playing with something like this. Yeah, I can't imagine Lord Van Zeek's playing with the policeman either. It's only about 8 centimeters tall. It could have fallen out of someone's pocket, I suppose. I think we should record it as evidence, just in case. Yes, I agree. It is rather delightful after all, in a way. A small and rather endearing model of a British policeman found at the scene of the crime on Fresno Street. So this is the body outline. So I suppose this is where the victim... That's right, the rope is laid around the body to show exactly how it was found. Poor Inspector Gregson himself has already been taken away, and would probably be under Dr. Scythe's scalpel by now, if not for what happened last week. From the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up in a ball. See, that's what I thought. Are you feeling alright, Mr. Naruhodo? You look like you've just seen a ghost. I know it's just a rope, but, well, it conjures up quite a terrifying image, that's all. Yes, especially with that blood stain next to it. Oh, I do understand. In some ways, what we picture in our minds can be even worse than reality. Sato-san is so strong, though. She's taking this far better than I am. Let's talk to this policeman. Excuse me. If you're looking down on us from the great beyond, Inspector, don't worry. We'll look after things at the yard. I've interrupted some deep thoughts there. The police are definitely not taking this well. Now there's the candle. The top of one of the candles in this candle holder has been completely blown off. Yes, there's wax splattered on the wall behind. Look. I suppose if a bullet had hit it, it does seem likely that the bullet hit the candle, having first passed through the inspector's body.
but it's a little bit high up, isn't it? Ugh, now that wax on the wall looks like blood to me. So here's a candelabrum. A candelabrum from the wall of the room on Fresno Street where the inspector was found dead. The top of one of the candles appears to have been blown off. Okay. And then there's the bag. Is that a bag? It looks... Ever since we came in here, I can't take my eyes off this thing. Oh, funnily enough, neither can I, yeah. I saved the best for last. It's a hairpiece, isn't it? The Red-Headed League. It is! It is! A bright red hairpiece! And I suppose the fact that it's right there next to where the body was found means we have to accept that Inspector Gregson wore wigs, does it? And in such a flame-coloured red, too. Yes, that's a colour we've come across very recently elsewhere, isn't it? Exactly. This is a vital clue, I'm sure of it. So there's a flame red wig found at the scene of the crime on Fresno Street. Presumably it belonged to Inspector Gregson. I don't think so. And then there's these wood panels. Somebody's very haphazardly nailed those boards over the broken glass, haven't they? You couldn't even really call it a window anymore. Well, if you remember the window in Mr. Natsume's room, that was totally blocked up with bricks. This one does at least still let it in some light. You could say nothing more about it. I'm starting to feel even more sorry for Mr. Natsume now. I don't think there's anything else around. Nothing up here. The beautiful picture of the woman. I think we're good. I think we covered everything. I suppose we should present these to Gina. Gina, what do you make of this?
What is that? Evidence? What, something out about what happened, have ya?
No, not exactly.
I ain't been long enough in the job to get all this deducting business yet. But I swear I'm gonna get the person what did this to the boss.
You go, Gina. I'm just gonna present everything to her. And see if we can get something. No, I'm not getting anything from her. What about the other evidence? The woman. No, nothing. This? Nothing. It doesn't hurt to try, because... I don't think that would work. Oh, I haven't seen her. I kind of want a green coat. I do love the green coat. The green coat is such a style. I want it. And it looks like it's got like tartan linings, which I really, really love.
Ah, oh, that business? Yeah, Inspector Lestrade soon had that one buttoned up.
I thought it was Mr. Holmes who led that pair into a trap, wasn't it?
Listen, Odo. It ain't easy going from East End diver to Scotland Yard detective, right? But anyway, it's all part of the charm, innit? Being a bit loose with the truth when it helps.
That's wrong for so many reasons. I love Gina.
Maybe I should get Iris to write stories about me. The Adventures of Inspector Lestrade.
Okay, so that's all we're gonna get. I suppose we move back to... Shams is sweet. First of November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. You've made good time. I took an express train back to London. I can hear Lord Strongheart. Can you? Yes, it sounds as though he's talking to someone. Kazuma! Is everything in place? I had a private compartment on the train so I could check all the paperwork. Yes. Kazuma-sama! Ah! Your timing is impeccable! It is? Is it? It is? No doubt you have heard the sickening news about the Reaper's latest devilry. Yes. I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Strongheart. That Lord Van Zeeks could have done such a thing to Inspector Gregson. I believe only in the facts. And the facts in this case point to one thing. The unavoidable accusal of Lord Van Zeeks for this crime. We must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective. No, surely not. It's a truly regrettable situation. Tomorrow, the Forensic Science Symposium finally begins. At the very least, though, we can show the world our justice system's swift and equitable processes. So does that mean the trial is tomorrow? Precisely. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions. Kazuma. Kazuma? 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 Ah, but of course, you're already acquainted, aren't you? Mr. Asogi here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings. Of course he's going to be the prosecutor! Did I say that? Did I say that? Of course he would. Okay, well, we are fucked. Leading the prosecution. Wait. What? Kazuma? As I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of law. Kazuma-sama, a prosecutor? I thought he wanted to be a defense lawyer. Now he just looks like a villain. What are we gonna do? I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no. People all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds. There's no salvation for anyone in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper of the Bailey. And now, the Reaper himself must stand in the dock. Quite so. The public want answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths. But Lord Van Zeeks firmly denies any involvement in such matters. And there have been thorough investigations that have proven him to be innocent. That's certainly true. Or it has been, at least, until now. No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history. Prosecutor Asogi. So, Kazuma will be prosecuting tomorrow? You got anything to say, Kazuma? How does... That's right. But he's a defense lawyer, Lord Strongheart. Accomplished young law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles.
Oh, can they not? And imagine what it will mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. A devastating combination, wouldn't you agree? Absolutely. I've no doubt at all that Kazuma will be razor sharp as a prosecutor. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. But why Kazuma-sama? There are surely many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain. Then where's the plot? It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned to the trial. You asked for this? But why? It's all become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? So menacing. What's going to happen? Although, the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation. I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented. Quite exceptional, in fact. You are quite right, Miss Mikotoba. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the Empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as a judiciary closing ranks. So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution. Ryunosuke, let's see how your skills have been honed after practicing law in this land for so many months. Kazuma, I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't going to end well, my friend. Yeah, why is he being hostile to us? What have we done? The killer's gun. We got the gun. Oh yes, we noticed that there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. Do you know if it belongs to Lord Van Zeeks? That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene. Well, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask somebody higher up who might know. That's right, Mr. Naruhodo. Be direct. It's certainly a model that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. The prison warden, which includes prosecutors, as I'm sure you can imagine. In that case, it could actually have belonged to the victim. No, Gregson had his gun on his person. What about Lord Van Zeeks? He claims it's currently not in his possession. What? According to his story, he lost it. Well, in short, it's more than a little suspicious. But just because the gun in question is the same type as the defendant's is no proof that it's actually his. No, of course not. Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Van Zeeks. Can I talk to Kazuma? Let's talk to Kazuma. I'm sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be alright now. Has your memory completely returned? Yes, completely. I remember everything, including what I was coming here to do. Right. I can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia? Yeah, that's a good question, Sasato. I didn't think of that. It was the voice. This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over. Go to London. That's where your destiny awaits. Do we know anyone who said that? Is that me? Is that Ryunosuke? It was that voice that guided me here to London. I'm so sorry for what's happened. Anyway, my memory might have returned to me, but there's something that won't return to the way it was before. Huh? What do you mean? I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't look like we're going to glean much more here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart. Where do we go now? Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our Empire's history. There's much you could learn from the public gallery. Sorry to have taken up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Hold it! Before you go, Ryunosuke. Oh, what is it, Kazuma? I just wanted to thank you. Ooh? Kazuma-sama? What? You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my steed. And you carried out my role to perfection. I wouldn't say that. I had a few blunders along the way. Maybe a lot of blunders. You always were intent on studying British law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Naruhodo didn't want that to die with you. Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here. Oh? Oh, we might help him with something. I actually have a favor to ask. Which is? This trial I'll be prosecuting tomorrow, I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me, as a defense counsel. I'm going to defend Lord Van Zeeks with all my might. Why? What's this all about? I know you have what it takes. It's a battle. But Lord Van Zeeks would never put his fate in my hands. On the contrary, he recognizes your talent. He does? It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this. Oh my god, that's so cute! Oh, that must be his older brother! That's Lord Van Zeeks and Inspector Gregson. Oh look, there's Inspector Gregson, don't he look young? In a photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the look of it. 10 years ago. I presume that's his brother. Before he got murdered. And who's the third person? It was displayed very promptly in a detective's office. In Gregson's office, you mean? Yes. What I'm trying to say is, if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talking makes him take a different view. Take it. An old photographic print displayed rather prominently in Inspector Gregson's office as if it was a treasured memory. What if I showed this to Lord Van Zeeks? I don't understand. Why are you giving me this? Just hurry, Ryunosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over. What are you doing, Kazuma? You knew I was gonna go to prison. Let's go. You heard it from Kazuma. We gotta move. Where is prison? Prison. We need to show this photo to Lord Van Zeeks. 1st of November, local prison, cell 1. Lord Van Zeeks is still reading that letter. We've been gone quite some time, though. Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. I might even be able to read English faster than he can. I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't turn a deaf ear to such an insulting Nipponese. Oh, sorry, I didn't think you'd hear that. I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time. Yes, we heard that your trial is set for tomorrow. Which is none of your business. So, have you found a lawyer? How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This has nothing to do with you. Au contraire! No, we will be your defense lawyer. We were just talking to Lord Strongheart and the prosecutor for your trial has been decided. I'd expect nothing less, though I have no idea who it is. It's going to be Kazuma Asogi. Asogi? That made the color drain from his face. Well then. It seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all. We got to have a conversation! Asogi. 10 years ago, my older brother, who was the director of prosecutions at the time, was murdered. And the killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the Far East. Not a single day goes by when I don't curse the name Asogi. Genshin Asogi was Kazuma-sama's father. So what cruel twist of fate is this now, 10 years later? The man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court? I feel like Lord Strongheart knows what he's doing. As I said before, he's very sus. I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Kazuma to you. It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset. But what could he have been hoping to achieve? And let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from his amnesia. Why would Lord Strongheart assign this trial to somebody like that? Asogi. That name is the very epitome of my bane. The bane that is you, Nipponese. Right, your hatred of all us Japanese. Alright, I need to go to the loo. I shall be right back. Hi, I am back. Okay, I am back. Let's ask him some more questions. It's only just been appointed as a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. My brother Clint, the director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer. The so-called professor, assigned to the investigation as his partner, was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard. And that was Genshin Asogi? Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous in the extreme to me. But none of us saw the true nature of the man. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, and any semblance of right prevailing over wrong. Oh, how awful. To avenge my brother, I prosecuted in Asogi's trial. It
It wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I beleaguered the ascribed prosecutor until he consented. What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor? The man in charge of the Professor case inquiry, Lord Mel Strongheart. Wait, what? Lord Strongheart! He was a highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the one person to whom I've felt indebted. I'm sure he must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor. Anyway, time passed, but then earlier this year, who should arrive in London but you? And, of all things, as a lawyer. I felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in the courtroom. Your obvious deep loathing of us Japanese. I kept telling myself it was illogical. But for so many years, that hatred had festered inside me. I could no longer control it. And I can understand why, now I know the history. But in the same way that I've long felt the Nipponese to be the bane of my life, to Kazuma Asogi, I am the bane of his, the Reaper who sent his father to the gallows. He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in court tomorrow. This is all too much. So much revenge and hatred is going on. Inspector Gregson. Gregson's transfer to the Paris Police Prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month, but he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy. Oh yes, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he? He did say that he was transferring to Paris. I wonder, does it happen often? Being transferred internationally, I mean? It's the first time I've ever encountered it. Oh! The Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place. Maybe it didn't happen at all. It sounds like that mystery has even the Reaper perplexed. I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We hear that he was considered something of a legend at Scotland Yard. Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself by uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the Professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would never have been made. What sort of approach? After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy. Oh my, 10 years ago? Why is that so surprising? Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time and rarely performed. And my brother was of course a noble. That made the idea of it even more unthinkable. But something Gregson had dug up in his investigations made him determined it was necessary. His powerful conviction somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother. I completely missed that. So you must have had great confidence in the inspector's abilities then. And it's even more inconceivable that you would have taken his life. I don't have confidence in anyone. And I'm sure Gregson felt the same way. I've no doubt he thought of me only as the ominous Reaper, just like the rest of London. I completely disagree. What really went on between Lord Van Zeeks and Gregson, I wonder? What was the true nature of their relationship? Your gun. About the gun used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene. Oh yes, that's not mine. Really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is. What do you expect me to say to that? Lord Strongheart informs us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm. As embarrassing as that is, I'm afraid it's true. When did you lose it then? That, I don't know. Oh, that's not good. It's a gun. I was issued with a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose. Or left it somewhere, perhaps. You have something in common with Lord Van Zeeks, after all, Mr. Naruhodo. A talent for misplacing things. Yes, thank you, Sasato. No, this has nothing to do with me. Don't drag me into it. Don't make the mistake of associating me with this Nipponese. Wow. Oh dear, the rift is very wide, isn't it? Very much so. So it's not decisive evidence, clearly, but it doesn't look good, that's for sure. I wonder if there is anything on the gun that we've missed. So it doesn't have like any kind of signature. So this is a type of revolver that's standard issue for members of the judiciary then. Yes, and when I asked about where the records are kept about who they're issued to, I was told that for the past 5 years they've been engraved with a unique serial number. Oh, but as far as I can tell, there's nothing like that on this gun, which tells us that it must have been issued longer ago than that. So there's nothing on this gun. Oh. What's this? Okay. Well, but there was no serial number. And there's no serial number on here either. Well, goddamn! Well, never mind. We got to present this gun to him? What's that? Ah, it's just something I was hoping to ask your opinion about, that's all. It's a serious crime for the defense to attempt to extract information from the prosecution by illegal means. Alright, I get the message, but I don't see what's illegal about me asking. Alright, we're gonna have to show him the photo. Lord Van Zeeks, we came by this old photograph. It's so cute! Where did you get that? Oh, it's adorable! It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assumed it was long lost. Is the man on the left there? Yes, that's my brother, Clint. The person on the left is Lord Clint Van Zeeks. So this is him. It had to be, really. Apparently, this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know. Were you aware of that? Respect? That's nonsense! No, we've heard someone attest to it very clearly. Inspector Gina Lestrade, no less. What do you say to that? Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. I thank you. I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle. An insight into the true nature of this man, known to all as the stone-cold Reaper of the Bailey. I think we're getting somewhere. Ooh. Mr. Naruhodo. This is probably the first time he says our name. Oh, that's the first time he's ever used my actual name. We're getting somewhere with him. He's going to ask us to defend him. I've lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. But there's still one thing I'm willing to believe in. What's that? That which you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth. Absolutely, Van Zeeks. Yes! From the very first time we clashed in the Bailey, almost a year ago now. Was it a year ago? It was a year ago? I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wished I could. Here is a loathsome Nipponese who has absolute integrity as a lawyer. Is he complimenting us? It's really hard to tell. There are only 2 other men I've known with that same look in their eyes. My brother, Clint, and Genshin Asogi. The man he idolized and the man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous way. I can imagine this is hard for Van Zeeks. When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me. You mean this photograph? This is so cute. Back then I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plague me now. I look to the future with hope. He looks very familiar. I look to the future with hope. He kind of looks like a Final Fantasy character. Since then, I've protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at times, the mire into which I've sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe. I'm so sorry. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me? Yes! Yes, we will! Of course I will. It would be an honor. I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodo. Then my life is in your hands. This is going to be an interesting trial for Lord Van Zeeks. That must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask, which is why I simply cannot let the man down. Tomorrow, in the Old Bailey, against my old friend, Kazuma. This is a lot! Oh, shit! To be continued, and we're gonna leave it at that, as we're going to be doing the trial tomorrow. This is insane. A lot has unpacked here. We're going to be defending Lord Van Zeeks. Jesus. Right, we're going to leave that here. I'm going to quit the game. But thank you ever so much for joining me in my stream. I do hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We are spilling so much tea here. So much tea. But yes, I'm going to leave it here. Before I leave, I'm going to find somebody to raid. Somebody to raid. Who is up and about? I've been going back into Apex Legends lately because there has been like a new event. So I found someone who is playing Apex Legends. We're gonna be raiding Queen Bia. I haven't raided her for a while actually, but yeah, she is playing Apex Legends, so do give her all the love in the world. But yes, as I said, we shall be continuing with this tomorrow. We are going to be starting the trial tomorrow around the same time, so if you are interested, do come by and say hi. I greatly appreciate you, lovelies, and Anyways, do take care. Do have a wonderful rest of your day. And I shall see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.